Hey everyone, so I'm really excited to make this video because yesterday I went to see the Chris and Pie Roadshow. Now just briefly, for those of you who don't know who Chris and Pie is or what Show Me is, which is what the Roadshow was about, it's a show on Cbeebies which is basically teaching the kids through song and dance, and it's very entertaining, it's very energetic, very lively and very fun. So on that aspect I was really quite excited to go and see it. But also you have Chris and Pie, Chris Jarvis and Pie Family, two people who've been quite influential in my career decisions and my career path and the decisions I've made along the way. I do completely adore both of them. I actually found out last year or the year before that Pie actually played Poe in the Teletubbies and she did the voice for Poe. I was like, that is incredible, she is Poe. So during the show, during the roadshow, I don't know what I was going to say there, during the roadshow there was a bit where Chris and Pie hug each other and she actually goes, big hug, in her Poe voice, and I was just like, oh, that's Poe. It was pretty amazing. Yeah. But the roadshow was in Newcastle last night and it is still going on. It's only just started. The 2011 rounds just started, so I will link you to their website in the below bar so you can go and check the dates. And this is technically aimed at kids. I took my sister, well, my mother took my sister and I tagged along, but I will say it was my idea. I wanted to go because I wanted to see Chris and Pie. It lasted an hour and 20 minutes, which I think was a little bit long considering some of the kids there were quite young, plus there was a 20-minute interval. So it was like you had half an hour, 20-minute interval, then half an hour. And that 20 minutes was quite long. Obviously it gave them enough time for children to go to the toilet and things. But for the children that weren't going to the toilet and just had to sit there, it was quite lengthy. But regardless of all of that, so completely, definitely worth it. It does have a theme to it. The theme is they have to find these 10 cards, these like giant cards which are like massive. And each of them have a number on. So number 1, and then it'd have a number 1, and then it would have like a picture of an animal or something, and then they would find it and sing a song about that animal. Number 2, I believe, was the one with pigs on, and then they went into singing Old MacDonald Had a Farm, and the children had to join in with a song, and it was just great fun and very lively. And then they found up to number 6, I believe it was, and then we had the interval. And actually Chris made a bit of a slip up during it because he goes, oh, here's number 8, and then he looked at it and goes, oh no, that's number 9. So he kind of picked up the wrong card, which I think was really nice because it just proves they're human and it makes it slightly entertaining for us who understood what he actually said then, because I don't think the 1-year-olds would be able to think like, oh haha, he picked up the wrong card. They're just going to think it's part of the act. Well, it could have been part of the act for him to make a mistake, but I highly doubt that. The songs in it were really, really great. There was things like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, as I said, Old MacDonald. There was The Owl and the Pussycat. There's a mouse in the windmill. There's a mouse. Where? There on the stair. That one. I can't remember its official title. And there once was a mouse in Old Amsterdam. Anyway, there was loads of them I really can't remember. But basically all your nursery rhymes that your kids are going to know. I think there was one song that was sung that I had never heard before, but they sang it twice, so I soon picked it up. And yes, I was sitting there singing along, and they sang If You're Happy and You Know It, Clap Your Hands, and I was clapping my hands and stamping my feet. That was really cool. The woman behind me knew all the words to every song and was singing loudly. Kudos to her for having the confidence to do that. I was singing, just not loudly. But somebody behind me, I overheard them commenting, saying that if it wasn't for the adults there, it would be silent. And I don't think that's technically true, because there were kids singing there, but at the same time, the ratio of adults singing to kids singing was a lot greater. Maybe half the kids were joining in. Some of them were too young to actually join in though. For example, the age range, I'm trying to think, the average age there would have been about 3, I think. The youngest one there that I spied would have been about 2 weeks old, this gorgeous tiny little newborn baby. Honestly, I think he was too young to bring it to something that loud and noisy, because there was points where the kids were screaming at the stage, pointing things out, because it was very sort of panto-like. There was a lot of interaction with the audience. It was very lively. So I think maybe for a 2-week-old baby, it's not exactly worth the £13 per ticket, because it was £13. Saying that, the baby probably would have got in for free. But you know what I mean, I don't think it would have been worth it. I think from about the age of 2 to 3, whereas when sort of the kids started to really understand it and join in, as I could see from the interaction around me. My sister is 5, she will be 6 later this year. To start off with, in the beginning, Chris is dressed up as, well, not the beginning, but the first little sketch they do. Chris is dressed up as Humpty Dumpty, and my sister was like, well, that's just silly. It's just a man dressed up. It's just Chris dressed up in a costume. I was like, okay, what did you think it was going to be? Think it was going to be a real giant egg or something? So she is sort of getting to the age now where she doesn't necessarily find this sort of thing funny because it isn't real, and she sort of sees that. Whereas in my age, I laugh at the fact that there's Chris dressed up as an egg on the stage. It's not the fact that Humpty's just fell off of a wall. It's the fact that Chris is being an egg on stage. So I think 5 to 6 is sort of the eldest you'd take your kid. I'd say there was a boy there who was about the age of my brother, 8 or 9. He'd been dragged along. Clearly you could see he'd been dragged along. But I imagine he would have enjoyed it anyway because it was fun and it was just full of laughter. As I said, Chris and Poi were dressed up all the time. They'd take turns. Chris sort of was mainly in control of finding the cards. Sometimes they did it together. Poi was usually the one who dressed up, but because she's quite small, she's the same height as me, I believe. She's 5 foot, I think. She looked really sweet in all these little costumes. She dressed up as Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. She dressed up as Little Bo Peep. That's another song they sang. And the accent she did when she did Little Bo Peep was adorable. It kind of sounded American. It kind of sounded like Cantonese. I really couldn't work out what it was, but it was super, super adorable. And it was just so fun. It basically was like watching the TV show, but an hour and a half, but an hour long. Much better than watching the TV show. I have watched the TV show, mainly because my sister watches it. I don't watch it through choice, but I do like watching it because I get to see Chris and Poi. And when they came on stage, the voiceover said, "Please welcome to the stage, Chris and Poi." I nearly threw up. I was like, haha, because they're like childhood idols of mine. It's like when I met Caroline, when you finally see somebody in the flesh that you've adored forever, it's like so surreal. I was quite, excuse me, yawn. Yeah, I was quite far back. Where was I sitting? CC24, there's my ticket. And so I was quite far back. I was like 13 rows back or something. 14, 15, maybe 15 rows back. I wasn't that close to them, but you could still really see what was going on. There wasn't that much in the way of staging, as in it wasn't packed and busy. There was a makeshift wall. There was 2 banners either side that said the Chris and Poi show. There was like something over there and something over there. So there wasn't loads going on that the children were like, oh my god, where do I look? They always were to look at Chris and Poi, because there wasn't really much background stuff going on, but there was still enough there to make it look a bit more colourful and bright than just a plain stage with Chris and Poi. Definitely a million times better than the TV show, but the TV show is good, don't get me wrong. Go and see it. Please try and find a young child to go along with. Now, I'm not saying just pick up a young child off the street. If you have siblings or cousins or friends with younger kids, grab them and take them along. You know, say, do you want to come see this show? Buy them a ticket. I think there's a certain age where you go for free. I'm not sure. You'd have to check. It could differ per venue. But you will love it. It just really helps you get in touch with your inner child, brings you back to your childhood, all these nursery rhymes. And the most surreal thing, I just stopped, I think it was during the interval, I stopped and looked around. And I was like, oh my god, this room is packed. There was about 300 kids in that room, give or take. And in 10, 15 years' time, these 300 kids are going to be the people at uni, the people serving us in shops, the people being our doctors and our dentists. And I'm like, all these kids have yet to develop their personalities. Look at them all. We've no idea what these kids are going to turn out to be when they're older. And that was quite a surreal moment. It was sort of a bit scary to think like that, but it was nice. But yeah, the Chris and Poi Show Me Roadshow is the most perfect thing ever. I went and see it at the City Hall in Newcastle. I think it only does 1 night per venue. Or at least it did 1 night in Newcastle. So if you want to go and see it, there's only really 1 day you can go and see it. As I said, I will link the website for you below so you can go and check out the dates and things. As I said, it has just started. Newcastle was like their first or their second venue of the 2011 route. But definitely worth it. So fun. Don't think that you're too mature for this, because believe me, nobody is too mature for Chris and Poi. Fantastic. Please feel free to leave comments and things and let me know your thoughts. Please go and see it and then let me know what you think of it as well. It is fantastic. But that's it for now, so I will see you next time. Bye.